From Shadow to Light, Reclaiming Your Story, Part 3. Stories about the past live in the present. In Jackson Browne's song, "I Thought I Was a Child," he sings, "As if you know how it feels to never be who you wanted to be." Many of us feel that way. But what if you could be who you wanted to be? While we all have limitations in various ways, shapes, and forms, are those what's holding us back? Or is it simply the stories we have been told and continue telling ourselves about who we are? Implementing narrative therapy, empowering clients through story reconstruction. The main tenet of narrative therapy is the person is not the problem is the problem. Many of us so closely identify with our problems that they become our identities. I have had many clients tell me I am bipolar or I'm OCD. My usual response is, I'd rather just call you Denise. Narrative therapy is a respectful and non-blaming transdiagnostic approach developed by Michael White and David Epstein. It centers on the idea that individuals are separate from their problems, fostering a sense of empowerment and resilience. This approach is not just about therapy, it's about transformation. By focusing on client strengths and cultural stories, we create opportunities for profound change. Some of the benefits of narrative therapy are that they empower clients to reclaim their identity. It honors and integrates cultural narratives, and it's effective across individual, family, and group therapy. Narrative therapy has 4 core principles: externalization, deconstruction, unique outcomes, and empowerment. Externalization is viewing the problem as outside of the person. You can help the client name their anxiety or depression or OCD or whatever their issue is, as if it were a separate entity. For example, if your anxiety were a character in a story, what would it look like or act like? By giving the problem a name and identity, the client begins to see anxiety or whatever the issue is as something they can challenge rather than a fixed part of themselves. For example, a therapist works with Sarah who struggles with anxiety. Instead of saying, "Why do you feel so anxious?" the therapist externalizes the issue. What does anxiety try to make you believe about yourself? Sarah describes anxiety as a shadow that whispers fear in her ear. The therapist may then ask, when does this shadow seem strongest? When is it weakest? Through this process, Sarah begins to see anxiety as something external, not part of her identity. This empowers her to explore strategies to reduce anxiety's influence, reclaiming control over her life. Another core principle of narrative therapy is deconstruction, breaking down dominant narratives. It involves analyzing dominant stories that influence an individual's life. It examines cultural, societal, and personal narratives. It questions origins, assumptions, and power dynamics of these stories. Deconstruction encourages critical thinking, enabling individuals to separate from limiting labels or beliefs. This process empowers clients to reauthor their stories, aligning them with their values, aspirations, and preferred identities, fostering greater agency and self-awareness in their therapeutic journey. For example, a therapist works with James, who believes he's a failure because he hasn't followed a traditional career path. The therapist may ask, "What does being a failure mean to you? Where do these ideas come from?" Together, they explore societal expectations, cultural messages, and family pressures that shape James's belief. The therapist might ask, "Are there other ways to define success?" This process helps James question the validity of the dominant narrative and recognize alternative perspectives, enabling him to redefine his identity and embrace his unique achievements. A third core principle is unique outcomes, identifying exceptions to the dominant story. Uncovering evidence of the client's resilience, strengths, and alternative narratives, challenging the problem-saturated story, revealing possibilities for change, and exploring these moments allows clients to recognize their agency and resources, fostering hope and self-empowerment. For instance, Maria feels overwhelmed by her tendency to procrastinate and believes she's incapable of finishing tasks. The therapist may ask, "Can you recall a time when procrastination didn't control you?" Maria remembers completing a school project early last year because she felt excited about the topic. The therapist explores what was different then, adding, "What strengths or values helped you stay on track?" Maria identifies her passion for learning and ability to focus when motivated. This discovery empowers her to replicate those strategies in other areas of her life, rewriting her story. The final core principle of narrative therapy is empowerment, highlighting strengths and resilience. Exceptions or unique outcomes highlight moments when the client successfully resisted or overcame the problem. By exploring these instances, clients gain insight into their skills, values, and resources that contradict the problem-saturated narrative. This process fosters self-awareness, confidence, and a sense of control over their life story. Therapists amplify these exceptions, transforming them into empowering, preferred narratives. Clients feel more capable of shaping their future and reclaiming their identity from the problem's grip. For example, David struggles with self-doubt, often saying, "I can't handle challenges." The therapist may ask, "Can you share a time when you overcame something difficult?" David recalls navigating a tough work project successfully. The therapist highlights this strength, perhaps asking, "What skills did you use then? How might they help now?" David identifies persistence and creativity as key traits. Through further reflection, he begins to see himself as resourceful and capable. This shift empowers David to approach current challenges with confidence, rewriting his story as one of resilience. The narrative therapeutic process starts with engagement, building a collaborative, respectful relationship between the therapist and client. The therapist listens without judgment, creating a safe space for the client to share their story. Engagement, as I'm sure you know, involves active listening, demonstrating empathy, and creating a safe, non-judgmental space for the client to share their story. Your relationship with your client is essential for this or any other type of therapy. In mapping the influence, the therapist helps the client uncover the ways the problem shapes their thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, revealing its pervasive impact. To begin mapping the influence, a therapist might ask, "How has anxiety impacted your daily routine or relationships?" Simultaneously, they explore moments when the client resisted or lessened the problem's impact, fostering awareness of their agency. This process helps externalize the issue, uncover patterns, and identify opportunities for change, empowering the client to challenge the problem's influence and take steps toward preferred outcomes. As we have learned, our families, our culture, and the media all contribute to our understanding of who we each are and how we fit in or don't fit in. The next step in the narrative therapeutic process is externalization, separating the problem from the person, shifting language from "I am the problem" to "the problem is influencing me." This reframing fosters empowerment and agency. Externalization reflects a core philosophy of narrative therapy, separating people from their problems. This principle emphasizes that individuals are not defined by their difficulties, which fosters a sense of agency and reduces self-blame. It guides the therapist's approach, ensuring that language and interactions consistently reinforce the idea that the person is distinct from the problem. Reauthoring stories involves identifying moments of resilience or unique outcomes when the client resisted the problem's influence. These moments become the foundation for creating new, more empowering narratives that align with the client's values and strengths. The therapist collaborates with the client to expand this new story, weaving in their achievements, resilience, and aspirations. By reauthoring, clients gain a sense of agency and develop a positive identity, allowing them to envision and move toward a future aligned with their values and preferred ways of living. There are emotional systems in narrative therapy. Emotions are the brain's way of signaling survival information. Emotional systems operate like an internal guidance mechanism. Emotional awareness enhances self-regulation and decision-making. Negative emotions, when accepted and processed, can protect against depression. Emotions are our brain's survival signals, a vital internal guide. Understanding these systems enhances self-regulation and decision-making. Emotions are biological messengers that we interpret as feelings. This awareness empowers us to navigate life's challenges with greater resilience and clarity. By acknowledging our emotional responses, we gain control over our reactions and improve our mental well-being. There is a strong connection between emotions and personal narratives. Emotions arise in the body even before we consciously interpret them. The limbic system plays a key role in shaping meaning and responses. Our stories emerge as we attempt to make sense of our feelings. Affect, the outward expression of emotions, must be internalized before externalization. When you feel a certain way, a relevant question might be, have you felt this way in the past? And if so, when? Emotions precede conscious interpretation shaped by our limbic systems. Our stories emerge as we make sense of these feelings. Our narratives are built from our emotional experiences. Understanding this connection is essential for therapeutic progress. Recognizing patterns in our emotional responses allows for deeper insight. The panic grief system is a fundamental emotional network in the brain, responsible for feelings of separation distress, loneliness, and social bonding. This system evolved to ensure survival by motivating social animals, including us humans, to seek connection and support. When social bonds are threatened or lost, the panic grief system is activated, triggering distress responses such as crying, sadness, and anxiety. This response is particularly strong in infants who rely on caregivers for survival. The system is associated with the anterior cingulate cortex, periaqueductal gray, and opioid neurotransmission, explaining why social pain resembles physical pain. In grief, the brain undergoes a process of adaptation, initially experiencing acute distress before shifting toward emotional regulation. Chronic activation of this system, such as in prolonged loneliness, can lead to depression and physical health issues. Understanding the panic grief system has implications for mental health, highlighting the importance of social connection and emotional well-being. Treatments like therapy, social support, and even pharmacological interventions targeting opioid pathways may help alleviate the distress associated with social loss and isolation. The panic grief system in our brain links rejection to physical pain pathways. Tylenol, according to research, actually lessens emotional pain as well as physical pain. Addiction stems from social isolation. Trauma divides attention, impairing memory integration. Rejection's impact is real, not just emotional. Addressing isolation and trauma requires understanding their physiological effects and recognizing the body's response to these experiences is crucial for effective intervention and healing. There is a strong need for a safe narrative space. PTSD is linked to decreased emotional awareness and processing. Stress hormones disrupt the hippocampus, making traumatic memories feel present. Implicit memories lack context and remain emotionally charged. Therapy must establish safety before processing traumatic events. Creating a safe therapeutic environment allows for processing these painful experiences. Without safety, healing is nearly impossible. With safety, healing is almost guaranteed. Constructing new narratives for healing. Affect-filled problem memories are emotionally charged, negative experiences. Adding a story means creating a coherent narrative around them, enabling problem management by understanding and processing the trauma. Conversely, unique outcome memories are positive, contrasting experiences. Crafting a story around these fosters a new story, replacing the negative narrative with a more adaptive, empowering one. This process uses storytelling to reframe emotional experiences, shifting from being overwhelmed by trauma to building resilience and positive self-perception. As Diane Ackerman has said, conscious awareness is shaped by perception, not just reality. Within narrative therapy, emotional awareness and externalization are key therapeutic tools. Anyone here not have any problems at all? I didn't think so. Please take a minute to write down any problem you may have as external to yourself. For example, my perfectionism is holding me back from accomplishing my goals. Or my need for acceptance is creating anxiety. Or my anxiety is keeping me awake all night and I'm exhausted. Please pause this video to give yourself time to write down your issues, if you have them, as external to yourself. And now, take a moment to determine how your family, culture, or other influences may have contributed to this problem. Think about family and cultural expectations, societal norms, media representation, or religious or spiritual beliefs. So what is the story you've been telling yourself? That you're not smart enough, not sexy enough, you don't matter, you're not successful enough, or not good enough. Anxiety may be threatening your marriage. Depression may have you paralyzed. Trauma may have you terrified. So how can you break these chains that bind you? By realizing that you are not the problem. The problem is the problem. By externalizing the problem, you are able to confront it without damage to your identity and able to reauthor your identity while excluding your problem. When I rewrite my story, I will be free to be me. This step transforms perspectives. By reauthorizing their narrative, clients reclaim agency and rewrite their lives on their own terms. As a therapist, you want to collaboratively draft alternative stories, reinforce positive identity and strengths, approach problems as external to the client and/or yourself. Working with yourself and/or your client, co-create narratives which highlight strengths, and then use these strengths to solve problems. So take a break and stretch. This is the end of part 3. In part 4, implementing a new narrative, we'll discover ways to empower clients through story reconstruction.